everyone, it's Shelf from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is part of the hashtag Team Tiny Summer Hop, where we were challenged with creating a summer themed card. For me, there's nothing more summer than going to the beach, so I pulled out these Hero Arts color layering stamp sets to create a beach scene. Using the color layering or the Heroscapes are super easy way to create an amazing scene card without a lot of effort. So the first thing that we're going to do is we took a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white cardstock. It's just white Recollections cardstock from Michaels. And we are going to pick the most solid layer and stamp that down with one of the lighter inks. I wanted the kind of highlights to be this blue ink, and these are all Hero Hues reactive inks. I don't use any water with this, so we didn't use the reactive properties, but I kind of wanted to stick to mainly Hero Arts inks because I was using the Hero Arts stamps. You don't have to, but I just decided to kind of go with a theme here of Hero Arts. So I'm stamping down that first layer, going to clean it off, and then I'm going to get my second layer and I'm going to use Hero Hues in Pool Party. Now these are very easy to line up and so easy to create a scene. So there you go, you can see me inking it up with Pool Party, and then we're gonna stamp it down. And this is going to create more depth and dimension to the sea. That's another great thing that's about these stamp sets, these color layering or Heroscapes ones. There's a lot of depth and dimension to the scenes that you can get without doing a lot of shading with Copics or colored pencils or watercoloring. For me, this is such a super easy way to get a really, really detailed scene. So now I'm going to use the last layer in the layering stamp set with a darker blue. So this is just going to give a little bit of pop to it. It's going to be kind of the furthest blue out, so you're going to see the darkest color there. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the hop. There is a giveaway. All the information will be listed below in the more information section, so make sure that you check it out. It is also a hashtag hop, so please make sure that you click on the hashtag in the video description and you will see everybody's videos come up. I believe there are 15 of us participating on the hop, so I hope that you guys join us and participate in the giveaway. So now the next thing I'm going to do for the card is I'm going to create the beach. I'm going to take some Distress ink in Vintage Photo, and yes, I use the ink. I know that I normally use oxides, but I am going to be doing a technique with some Copic markers on this, so I wanted to use Distress ink. I don't know if Distress oxide can be used with Copic markers, but because it's a little bit creamier and chalkier, I tend to try to not use it, and it also stays wet a lot longer, and I'm impatient. So I'm going to take some Hero Hues Sea Salt with a ink blending tool, one of the mini round ones, and just put a little bit of white between the beach and the sea. It kind of makes everything cohesive, and sometimes you will see that little white foam at the edge of the sea. So I just thought that I wanted to add that. You can completely leave that step out if you want, if you're recreating the card. Then we're going to get ready to stamp on the greeting as well as the Adirondack chairs, because what is a beach scene without some Adirondack chairs that you can stare out into the beautiful blue ocean. I wish the ocean was as blue in New Jersey as it is on this card, but it's getting there. This is like the blue of the Caribbean, so I'm dreaming of traveling. I used MFT's Red Hot ink to stamp out the Adirondack chairs, and now we're going to be using one of the Simon Hurley inks to do the hello. It kind of looks like it's made out of sticks, so I wanted it to be a dark brown so that it would stand out from the sand, but it would also kind of look like it was nature, not a solid black like I normally do a lot of my sentiments. So again, I'm going over the hello with a little bit of the Distress ink just to kind of tone it down a little bit. And now we're going to work on the sky. This is from the second stamp set of Hero Arts that I'm going to use, and it has layering clouds, which just gives such depth and dimension. And you can see at the top that these create, and you can see how they're put together. It shows you the two different stamp sets, which is why I turned the packaging over, which is why I will always keep this packaging, because I will never remember this. So we're going to pick some light colors to do the first. I always start with the most solid. I know that not everybody does, but I always start with the most solid and do the lightest. So I believe we're using an MFT color here. I think this might be cornflower. I'm sorry, Hero Arts. I think this is the cornflower blue one that we're going to use. And again, it's a little purpley blue, but when it's that really pretty sky and you just see that little bit of blue on there, that's the look I wanted. Now, I didn't have to stamp it twice, but I decided to. If you stamp it once, you can kind of just get a wispy looking cloud, not as solid. So it depends. You can do a lot of different techniques with these. Even though they are layering, you can kind of create them the way you want to. So I was just checking the packaging again because I'm really not sure how these go together. This is the first time I've ever used it. And again, it was super, super easy to use. So now we're going to use Soft Pool for the top color. And we're going to stamp it down a couple times. Again, if you only stamp it down once, you're going to get a little bit of a lighter, wispier looking cloud. Mine are going to be a little bit more of formed clouds. And you can use whatever colors you want for this. You know, you can have purplish or pink. If you do like a night sky, you can have a little bit of a pink. So now we are using tumbled glass distress oxide to go over the clouds to create the sky. You could have done this first. I just wanted the sky to be very, very light. I wanted to see how the clouds were going to come out first before I did it. And I just did the very light. And you can see there's a bunch of white spots that I missed, which is fine. We're going to leave it like that. I want a very, very light sky. Now I'm taking out some Copic markers and I'm just going to create some dots with a couple of different random colors of Copics to create the sand. So I'm going to finish that up with the Copics and then I'm going to go over it with the Distress ink to kind of tone some of those down. I put a little bit of red in there, which I didn't know how it was going to look and it stood out a little bit too much. So if you go back over it with Distress ink, it will tone it down a little bit. And I did cut the card base down because the stamps were a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I cut it down about 1/8 of an inch on both sides. I'm going to take my Honeybee Bee Creative glue it down to a black card base, which is a top folding one. And you have your summer card. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you hop along with us and make sure you check out the video description for all the information on the hop. I will see you again real soon for another video. Bye!